Hello and welcome to Three Dudes and a Lady. Join us for a little inspiration, a little motivation, and perhaps a way to cope with your day. I am Mike from Virginia, and my gratitude this morning is exactly what Jay was talking about. Friends.
Healing from the beautiful state of North Carolina. My gratitude for this morning is the men's fellowship group.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Jay Anderson, yielding from the wild, wonderful state of West Virginia. Man, I tell you, both of y'all hit gratitudes that I was thinking about. Uh, let's make it a trifecta. Friends and people.
Hey guys, I am Christine Wright, hailing out of the great state of Florida. My gratitude today is for Jay Shetty. He always enlightens us with something, right? Today's topic was the people who lift you higher. You spoke of a quote, surround yourself with only people that are going to lift you higher. And it seems obvious, right, that we should do that, but how many of us are actually truly following this, right? Have He brought up a question about spending time with people from our past. Like once we move away, we go back home and we're spending time with people from our past. And something feels off, right? And maybe it's because our values changed, maybe our lifestyles changed, maybe we've changed and grown, right? But Jay was finding himself depleted whenever he went back to London, because he lives in LA, but and he found himself missing the people who actually got him and were elevating him, right? So the next time he went to London, when he planned his trip, he actually reached out to people that were in the same field as him or in the same dynamic as him, right? And he invited them over for dinner. And they asked three questions, and there was a lot of communication and fun, and he felt a sense of gratitude towards these people, right? He actually ended up gaining a community of people in London that would actually lift him up. So, and it can be natural with our old communities, right? Like when we move away and we come back, or old friends that leave and come back, right? It can be comfortable, right? But staying in that community may stunt our growth, right? It's vital to be around people that are going to elevate us. And it takes time to find those people, right? In our world. Um, this this happens, I think, when people join the military. I'm not saying I just have experience from the military aspect of it. When I joined the military, that whole group of people that I hung out with when I was in school, it was like when I went back, something was missing. It was almost like, okay, these people aren't the same, or I'm not the same. I didn't know which, right? And even Mike, my husband, like he had a really good friend before he joined the military. Him and his friend kind of drifted apart because, their values changed. They changed as people, like, and not to say they weren't friends, but it wasn't like a relationship that was that big of a deal anymore, right? Nobody was being elevated in it, right? And that happens as we grow into who we're meant to be, right? And finding those people that are truly going to elevate you in the thick of it, right? Not just when during the good times, right? Because when the good times happen, it's easy to elevate people. Would you guys agree? But
Yeah,
when
oh, absolutely.
when things are going south, it's not as easy. It's not as easy to find those people that are going to continue to elevate you, right? A lot of them will shut doors on you quickly because they don't want any negative in their life. So they're like, forget that. I don't want to deal with this, right? Has that happened to anybody before? It's happened to me a lot.
Mm,
Like people that I really looked up to that I thought, like, these are my people. And then something bad happens and all of a sudden those aren't your people.
These are my people.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you guys
I've
think?
done it to
Thoughts?
people before too.
Huh?
I've probably done it to people
Yeah.
before. People who were in a permanent state of gloom.
It's hard to elevate people that are in a permanent state of gloom, especially if they can't find the joy in anything, right?
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
is truly hard to help elevate them. And
Yeah,
a lot of it may be mental health, right? There's a lot of mental health stuff going on, and that's a hard thing to get out of, right? And we're not therapists. So, it is definitely a lot harder to help somebody who's in the doom and gloom, and maybe it is a mental health thing that they
Yeah.
just need help with.
Very true. Earl?
Can you guys hear me? I apologize. My internet's cutting in and out for some strange reason.
Yeah, you're
I
cutting
don't
You
in
are
and
in and out.
know what's going on.
Won't you
But
go out and come back
okay.
in? Go out and come back in and see if that works.
Yeah.
All
In the meantime,
right.
Rose.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of lived this over the weekend. First, last Friday was a holiday, and I knew that there should be people who weren't working, right? So I said, okay, who could I call and really have a conversation with? So, well, one person, surprisingly, she was working because banks didn't close on. But this is somebody I've known since the 90s, and we just gotta pick right up back up with our conversations whenever we get together, and we'll chastise each other for being too long. It's whoever picks the phone up first. And the other is, I talked to a former employee who, again, like 1990 is when we met, and talked to him on the phone for an hour and a half, and then had dinner with him Tuesday night.
nice.
It might be enough. And we probably go another 6 months and not even say a word to each other or pick up the phone or call. But just
You talk about that, Mike, and the one thing that I kept thinking as Jay Shetty was speaking was, don't we all love to be and have, when we get around people, a warm, fuzzy feeling?
right.
And when you find that warm, fuzzy feeling, it's an attraction. I mean, that because you feel good about it, and you
Well,
want
like
to
how we all
be,
found each other.
yeah.
Perfect
So
example.
it's where I was getting ready to head. I mean, if you had 10 people standing in a room, do you think the four of us would have stepped out and said, "Hey, we're friends"? 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But then as we went, we realized, I feel like we all lift each other up because we do take the time to do the platform. And then as time went, we realized, hey, we kind of enjoy doing this. And it's very uplifting to me. So I think sometimes I, I look I look for this more. Yes, we've become friends, but I also look at this platform as a way to keep my mindset happy. A way I know that I feel like the three of you guys lift me up all the time, and you don't even recognize it. You don't see it. But it's a pleasure for me to come on in the mornings and get a dose of us. And that's who lifts me higher, is the four of us. Now, please don't, I'm not saying that my wife doesn't, play
Mm.
into
But
this.
that's different.
Those are givens.
Yeah,
We're talking outside of that.
right.
So, I suspect, Earl, when you go to your men's group for church, I feel like you probably leave feeling very uplifted. That was a warm, fuzzy feeling for you. Mike, I'd say BNI probably gives you that mojo, you
Yeah.
know. And Christine, I think your family just feeds you because it's evident that you're very family oriented. But I also think there are things outside that you grow. And
Oh, for sure.
I suspect all of us are lifted between the four of us for what we do. So this is a thing, him saying, you want to surround yourself with good people. This is what it looks like. This is how it sounds. This is, things that make us one better people, but more importantly, makes us happy. And at the end of the day, that's what we all really want to be, is happy, truthfully, Man, it's hard. It's a cynical world out there. It's a tough world. So
And
finding a
it's only
happy space,
becoming more cynical.
yeah, finding a happy space can be tough, but you got to work at it. This is not something that just pops up and happens. You have to work at it. And we, as a group of four, we did work at it. We kept moving along and trying to, for self-development and personal growth, we just kept going. Okay. Then all of a sudden we realized, hey man, we got something bigger than just this. And that's when the warm, fuzzy feeling came about. And we were like, we lift each other up. We might not recognize it and might not see it, but I suspect if we talk to each one of us individually and ask some of the questions that Jay Shetty asked, this group would come right back into that conversation.
For sure. I fully believe that.
I also think that you can't give up on people who don't lift you up because maybe they need you to lift them up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's
True.
that's
But
the
don't,
dicey part.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't make it a project though.
No, we can't save them all. We can't save them all, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like family, Jay, I'm glad you brought up family because like your family, right? Your close-knit family, like your kids, maybe your mom, maybe your dad, they are close to us, right? Like it's like for me, it's a little bit different because my mother-in-law lives with us, right? And then we have our kids living with us. So, she's part of our everyday dynamic, but at the same token, like other family members may not see you for who you are, right? They may see you for who you were when you were younger, especially if there's been some time in between you spending time with them, right? So some of our family may not be the ones that we're going to go to get lifted up, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
And
Listen,
don't expect them to, because families, a lot of times it's not like that,
if you saw me who I was as a younger individual, we might not be friends. Not on my side.
Right?
Especially if every conversation starts with, you still doing that insurance thing?
Yeah.
Earl, were
Get
you
out of
able
that.
to hear the conversation with Jay Shetty?
Yeah, I heard the conversation with Jay Shetty. As soon as we started recording, all of a sudden my computer is not behaving itself, so I had to pivot a little bit.
Well, what's your thoughts, buddy?
Well, let me just say this. I heard you mention the men's group. I heard what you said about that. And I got to tell you something. We tried a new Mexican restaurant last night, which is about 25 minutes north of me. And it was a very unique experience, but the conversation that we had, it was almost, I felt like I found a brothership. It's like they're asking me, hey, how's it going? As a matter of fact, I sat next to Norb last night, and Norb gave me a pat on the back. He said, I just want to let you know that I just received my check from Mutual of Omaha, and said, thank you for your support. And that really lifted me. As a matter of fact, he bought me dinner last night. And
Well, he bought a lot because I saw the plate on social media, and that was no small plate.
And you know what the funny part is? Half the group got the same thing because they looked at it and they're like, "Holy cow! Okay, I'll get that. Yeah, that. Give me that with a drink, and we're good." I'll tell you what. I took half of it home. I mean, I couldn't finish half of it. But you know what? That's a sign of a good restaurant. But not only that, but the gratitude and the service that we got last night was outstanding. So, but anyway, what the point that wanted to get to is after our meal, we were talking about scripts in the Bible, but also the friendships that we have, and we had talked about, and this was right on cue. Do not let people from your past or let people who don't influence you into your life. You can pray for them. You can give them some gratitude. If they don't reflect on that gratitude, then you know not that they're not your friend.
Yeah.
He said, is that what we have here is I don't like to use the word fraternity. I don't think that's the proper
But
terminology.
maybe a fraternal, not fraternal.
It's a fraternal men's group. Yeah, because there's quite a bit of I mean, technically we have 14 of us on board, but 10 of us came last night. I mean, everyone's got different schedules.
Yeah.
Well, the
But
root
but
of the word fraternal means brother.
yeah, but the thing of it is, we all have each other's back, and some of us have it better than others. Some of us have it worse. But you know what? Some of us can recognize when somebody needs help, and unselfishly, if we need help with something, we do ask for help, and they are unselfishly willing to give that help. And but we just talked about things in general. We had a couple of guys going through surgery. We prayed for them. We're happy to report that things are getting a little better, so that's a good thing. But the thing of it is in my family, in my immediate family, I'm not going to get that same kind of gratitude. I'm not, and it's a shame. I mean, families do grow apart, especially bigger ones. But it was talked about. So we need to believe in each other. We need to believe in ourselves first, and walk down that path with God, and ask God for His grace. And because you will open up new doors and meet new people who are going to be like family to you, and it's just another chapter in life. And it's very important who you associate the people with. Because not everything's going to be perfect, but you'll know when you're with the right person.
For sure. And Earl, I love the fact that you're talking about church communities, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful that I'm part of two different ones, right? I'm part of my local church community, and there's a group of girls, and we get together, and there's definitely a lot of lifting up, a lot of prayers, like a lot of in right now we're not in our growth groups, but we still try to meet like once a month in a coffee shop on a Saturday morning. No, nothing major, right? But it's like that's how you build your community, right? And then I'm grateful that I have another, like one of the companies I'm partnered with. I do a growth group type thing with not very many ladies, like 12, but it's virtual. It's just a different atmosphere, but it's still I'm still part of this community of women who are, group developing and growing each other, not in just faith, but in everything, right? It's like we have these community of people that can help build us up, especially when stuff's going sideways, right? Because it's easy to not need help or want help or ask for help when everything's going good. And it's harder when things are going bad, right? And you have to ask for help or prayers or whatever. It's harder to ask for help. But we don't want to be dependent on anybody. We want to be independent people, right?
Right. And Christine, I want to bring up something that I found interesting. I'm very analytical about this. The past couple of times when we tried different places, we're not afraid to try different places to eat and, grow fellowship. But when people see us pray together at the table before we enjoy our meal or prayer, you'd be amazed how many people notice that. And then after we're finished, they'll come up to us. Are you part of a church group? Oh my God, you know what? I need prayer. Can you please help? And I'm totally amazed how people will speak up, whether it's your waitress or your waiter or someone sitting at the next table. They're very analytical and they can hear us talk and, laugh and enjoy. And it's, I don't want to say it's opening up new doors. I'm just, fascinated how people can respond to that.
Well,
Yeah, and that's how it should be. It should be that
that's right.
people should ask for help or prayers or whatever. Like if they see somebody praying, they understand like you guys are praying, right? You're part of faith.
Right.
So they're going to come to you. The problem is society has taught us that that is not how we should be.
Well, I know that. I realize that, but we do what we do.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
we go,
as you should. I'm agreeing
right.
with you. It's just society teaches us that we should not do that, right?
And
Even
it's
though
not
we
like
should.
we're asking people you need prayer. We're going about our own business, and we're talking. We got two guys building their own house, and we're always giving. Hey, we could help you out with this, all that. We're just jibber jabbing, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, somebody will come up to us. You know what? I am very happy to see a group of men like you who come together as one. And and he goes, can you please pray for me? And I'm like, well, oh, okay, all right.
So I want to say something on this, uh, because this is a component that we haven't discussed in this, other than you hit it on the head, Earl, that I don't think people, unless you say it, people are not going to recognize it. Christine, you're right. Society has placed, you know, to be honest with you, Earl, when they see a group like that in a restaurant, and these people that come up to you, they 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 have wanted that, but they didn't know how to go about it.
Exactly.
And they see this and they're like, "Oh, cool. That's that's what I like to see." Hope no one saw me say that.
Yeah.
If you
Right.
understand what I'm saying,
Yeah,
okay?
I
So
totally understand what you're saying because you are
here's
100% right.
here's the component that has to take place. That component is you. As the individual, you have to step up to the plate to be part of things. This is a hard one for really all of us. Is are we as an individual, am I, Jay Anderson, willing to step up and be part of something like that? I see it and it kind of looks cool. I respect it, but am I able to break through my own barrier? And that barrier is this facade that I've created in my mindset that it's not cool, or it's
Yeah.
not right, or it's not normal. You don't see those things. But when you see it, you're like, hey, man, that's cool. That's what I want to be part of.
And Jay, you touched up on something that was said at the table last night. This thing hit the nail on the head because we talked about how people they won't forgive themselves, but if they need help, they won't step up to the plate. Or they find it difficult to step to the plate for the simple reason their egos get in the way. All right. They
Mhm.
just they don't surrender anything. They're too busy in their yeah, Christine's raising her head. They're too busy in their heads. But to and my friend Chris says people are idiots. I mean, that's just let's fact of life. People are idiots. I'm like,
There's truth in that statement.
no, Chris.
It's because we want to be independent, right? We're taught to be like social media or society is teaching us you want to be independent, right? You don't want to ask for help. Don't be dependent on people. Be the badass you want to be. Like do all these things, right? Like that's what we're hearing from social media and society. So we automatically think that's who we need to be, and we
Yeah,
don't need help. We can do this on our own, right?
that's right.
but
But that's not true. It's
but
just
but
society.
Chris, yeah,
That's exactly right.
Christine, here's another thing that we talked about. If you want to be the quote unquote badass of your life, thinking it's okay to be the leader. It's okay to show people the world who you are. You want to be the badass, but don't forget for the people who may need you, and leave that little bit of gratitude inside you to get back, because people will see that and they'll never forget it.
Right.
And a lot of people don't do that. They don't, but they should. And that's a shameful thing. But I mean, that's society. That's the what it is. And you gotta learn. I'm not gonna say learn to accept it, but you gotta learn to deal with it. And
Or go the other way.
yeah, just go the other way.
Yeah.
You got to be on that path.
Don't
That
follow the norm because the norm is not the way to go.
Well, the norm is a created facade, and we it's cultural, and it's it's very tricky. It's dicey because at best it's very misleading. And at the end of the day, you have to be responsible for you, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And it's hard because at the end of the day, listen, I want to be happy. I want to be happy 24/7. I am a very happy go lucky type guy. It's how I roll. I like it. when my mojo gets jacked up, I get jacked up. And I have to be careful because I can let these good guy, bad guy wear me out. And man, that's a waste of time and energy at the end of the day. And I can make up narratives in a heartbeat, and there's zero truth to the narrative. Why? Because my mindset's in the gutter. It's crazy. But this is a great one. Yes, hang around people that you like, that give you that warm, fuzzy feeling. And it doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't.
And don't be ashamed of public displays, whether it be affection, faith, whatever. Be you.
Yep.
If they're going to be them.
To that, I love all of you.
You know,
See how
Rotary
easy that was?
Rotary in the middle of a restaurant rings that bell, and everybody looks around.
But Earl, what you witnessed, what you're talking about, it's you're starting to see things like that be a little bit more of a norm. It's hopefully this movement continues in that direction because it's a positive thing. It's not like you're trying to create any type of cult. It's not like you're trying to do anything that's harmful or damaging. You're a group of guys that get together, you share each other's feelings, you have a great outlook, you teach each other the gospel, you say I am here because I am serving God. Let's have a good time. Let's learn something out of this. And if you're fortunate while you're sitting there, you take that and say, man, this is awesome. What is it that I'm learning out of this? Because this is kind of cool. And again, it's you recognizing this as an individual. I don't know. Guys, listen, I think it's obvious that you can see we're not licensed therapists. But we like to think we know a lot about it. Each of us have great angles. We listen to the app Calm. Within Calm, we listen to Jay Shetty, and he provides just some phenomenal content. You heard Christine say earlier that her gratitude was Jay Shetty. It's really all of our gratitude. This guy does pull out things, and he does it in a way that's not like forced teaching or anything like that. He's just bringing up things that make you think, hey, I need to look at that because if I can recognize these things, my self-awareness, through self-awareness, maybe I can be a better person because of it. Come join us on a daily basis.
Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and please leave a happy comment, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.
Peace.
This is